Hey, how y'all doing out there today? It is Sunday, March 22nd. This is Steve on media platforms today, just tuning in just to get you guys up to date on what's been going on. Obviously, the world is in a whole different place right now. Just finished listening to our president give a briefing on what's going on. Just here in Georgia, cases keep rising. And just doesn't seem like it's a end in sight to this thing. So again, as I keep hearing everyone say, and they should be saying, y'all stay safe, man. Stay safe. Check in on your loved ones. Don't ignore, especially if you have those that run into that risk group. Make sure you're checking in on them, and we are doing what we're supposed to be doing. Do our due diligence. That's what we're doing today. And also, we're going to check in on the Falcons, what we did this week, what we did today, and some other things going on as far as the NFL is concerned. Hey, let's keep each other up. What's going on? How y'all doing out there? What's going on? Lisa, how you feeling? It said, you and D-Nice are saving me from boredom. Let's talk Falcons football. Let me tell you something. That thing with D-Nice yesterday, that was pretty cool. I mean, that was straight up pretty cool. I like that. So just thinking we don't have anybody to depend on but each other. I like the fact that someone took it upon themselves to do that. I've actually seen a couple of folks getting online and doing some things themselves. That's fine too. Whatever it takes, man. We got to get each other through this crazy time, man. Through this crazy thing we got going on, and that's what it is. It's a crazy time. So just cool, man. What's going on, Frank? How you feeling today, brother? Good to see you in there. Corey said, don't listen to them, dude. Don't listen to that dude. Oh, man. Michael said, what's up, bro? Love getting this feedback from you all. Stay safe. It's all good. Yeah, I saw the challenge on the Atlanta Bird game that Tidy put out, which is actually pretty interesting just to hear other people's opinions, man. It's always good for us to get on here and give everybody a recap of what's going on, but it's good to hear some new faces. Hey, listen, I know y'all at the house. I know y'all locked up, and aside of eating what little food you had left out of the refrigerator, trust me, I'm in that line. Get down here and try to express ourselves on a little bit of Falcon news and NFL news during the day. Now, today we had a couple of signings today. First, I'm checking in with everybody. Michael James Murphy, what's going on, brother? Love getting this. All right, Jonathan Bugs, high hopes for the offense, but Treadwell is definitely not NFL proven. I'm going to get to that in a second. What's going on, Marquis? How you feeling, brother? Everything all right? Timothy Gerald, rise up, brother. Rise up to you as well. So we had two signings today. One was a re-signing Bleedy Ray Wilson, which I wasn't exactly surprised at that, considering we probably have a little bit less people right now on the defensive back end, but this Laquan Treadwell signing, it's really interesting to me, and I think anyone who's listened to me has heard me say that I think out of all the position groups that we have on the team, I thought the wide receiver was probably the one I felt the best about. When you're talking about Julio, Ridley coming back from injury, Ridley's going to be fine. Christian Blake, Zacharias, and Gage, I thought that set up for the potential to be one of the best wide receiver groups in the NFL. So a little bit of a surprise today that I see Laquan Treadwell, and not only because of that, because when he came out of college, he was definitely somebody that, were on people's radar. It's not like he came out of nowhere. But I look at his career numbers, and I pulled them up before I got on here just to see. So in 4 years, he's amassed 65 receptions, 701 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, that's a mediocre receiver stats for 1 year in 2020. Now, I know he had to probably stand in line behind Diggs and Thielen, but sometimes when you're that highly touted, you work your own self into the rotation. You work your own self into the team's eye and let them see you. It's just kind of interesting. I don't know what the money is. If anybody knows what the money is, please feel free to drop that on me. But I'm kind of scratching my head on that one. Don't know what that was all about. Maybe that was something. Maybe that's telling us something about one of the other 3 receivers on the team. I thought especially the young guys, are all on the uptick. But maybe that's something that is on the inside, or maybe it's competition. Almost like somebody was telling me the other day about Koo, our kicker, and to bring competition in. I wouldn't draft competition, but I would bring another free agent or 2 so we don't make the mistake like we did last year and didn't have anybody to battle up against our kicker. So he ended up just kind of thinking he had the job. Timothy, to signing Treadwell, what's that all about? Markeith, we signed an O-lineman today, Justin McCray, and that was going to be my second thing. Thank you, Markeith. Justin McCray from Cleveland, 6'3", 317 pounds at guard. So what that says to me is somebody is probably leaving in the name of Carpenter or Brown, which is actually good. Maybe that's why they've been spending this money, because they know one of those guys is getting ready to go. No problem with me. I like the fact bringing some guards in here to battle. Our offensive line is in no shape where we could say we're set at all. So I like the idea of bringing somebody else in here to battle for that left guard position. We really need to solidify that. Looking at here, Corey, is Treadwell a poor man's Sanu? Not even. Matter of fact, I was telling y'all last year, Gage stepped in nicely for the Sanu routes, the 10 yards, the 7 yards, the 5 yards. If you guys look very closely, Gage was a very welcome addition to the rotation as far as the Falcons was concerned, especially when they traded away Sanu. What's going on, Marcus? How you doing, brother? Julio limps off the field almost every few plays. 2, though, just kidding. Yeah, I know. We also, Sanu wasn't a star when we got him either, though. He had held it down for us here. Sanu wasn't a star, but Sanu was known. I knew all about Sanu when he was at Cincinnati. He was definitely Robin to A.J. Green's Batman. That's why I was kind of surprised he came into this situation, because he was coming in to basically play the same role he played in Cincinnati when Sanu got here. So no, I didn't have a problem with that with Sanu, but no, comparing Treadwell to Sanu, that's probably not accurate. It kind of concerns me that after 4 years, you can't get on the field that much. Last year, he played 13 games and only got 9 receptions. Now, I don't know whether he was hurt, but if you play 13 games and you're a wide receiver in today's NFL, I need to see more than 9 catches for the whole season. Corey says, got to get a guard in the draft. Also, as far as the draft is concerned, I was going to run by that after I went through just to catch anyone up who's been sleep or anything. We made our pickups this week, and Dante Fowler, Todd Gurley, Bleeder Way Wilson today, and Laquan Treadwell. Did those fill out the roster and all the points? They didn't fill out all the needs we had, but they definitely made the draft go in a different direction. Right now, tell me what position, not player, what position do you guys consider to be the number one need right now? Just flash it on, just a position, not a player. We got plenty of players out there. What position, now that we've got Dante Fowler playing at the DN, we did get Gurley to hopefully be our number one running back. Bleeder Ray was definitely brought in just to have some depth at cornerback and probably knowing exactly what we do. And Laquan Treadwell, again, I was even looking for his special teams numbers to see maybe he was brought in for special teams. It's a head scratcher. It will be interesting to see what they end up saying. Frank said, I think we're going to make another big move. I think we are too, Frank. I think they're surprising us with this stuff. And you can't say anybody who says they knew that Mitroff then were going to do this, don't do that. Stop it. I didn't hear one of y'all say that he was getting ready to wheel and deal. They've done a lot of things and could be something in the draft. So again, put down what positions you guys do. Dito says cornerback. Frank says D tackle or linebacker. Kevin says number one need is cornerback. Pass rush depth is a close second. If you had to put please keep putting it on, because I want to get. I know you guys have been stuck on players, and that's fine, because I know sometimes you have favorites that you guys want to have on the team, and that's fine. Alex says D tackle or cornerback. Marquis says defensive end or cornerback. Marcus says we got to draft a beast at defensive end or DB out of Clemson. Corey, need a linebacker too. So I happen to write down the list here of our needs post initial free agency. We're gonna have a lot of moves we're gonna make in the next couple of weeks, no doubt whatsoever. This is not over. We're not done. Not even including the draft. We still have a couple of things we need to do, especially with the Justin McCray. The NFL.com is reporting that. So usually when I see them, I pretty much think it's automatic. Tidy, what's going on, my brother? I saw you earlier today. I'm going to piggyback on you on your Cam Newton conversation earlier. Really good real talk on that. I'm definitely going to piggyback on that a little later on. Corner or linebacker. That's the one position before the moves we made this week. It was funny how linebacker was not one of the positions we were all clamoring for. Now with Dante Fowler being signed at that other DN, does that completely solidify the defensive line? No. But it does shift a little bit to now where you say, you got Debo. Is Olaquan really one of the guys that you are going to count on? I was kind of surprised a little bit last year. We saw a couple of holes. He played definitely better in 2018 than he played in 19. Brigida, how you doing? When is the draft and where are we in line? We're number 16 And it's still going to be on the same day, they say, but they're going to do it probably virtually, like the rest of the world is going to do things for the next couple of weeks. But which I think is mid-April, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody give me the exact date. It's usually on a Thursday. I want to say it's either the third or fourth Thursday in April. Twan, what's going on, sir? That first pick will be a cornerback, linebacker, or defensive tackle. And I think I skipped over you, Michael. James Murphy says cornerback and quarterback for Matt's backup. Quarterback, eh? All right. I'll get on that in a little bit too. Mikey said, "Nah, we definitely need to get a linebacker in the second or third." I'm gonna dispel for anybody thinking we're gonna get a quarterback in 1, 2, or 3. Y'all might as well block or mute me. We're not going to get a quarterback in the first, second, third, and probably fourth round. Unless the quarterback in the fourth round is somebody too good to be true. We're not going to do that. Right now, the focus on this team right now is the defense. The defense is the focus. So I understand the human thought of let's start looking for Matt's backup. But to think that we're going to even go in that direction in the first 3 picks, not this year, not this year. Marcus says somebody got a line up next to Grady. The guy we got from the Aints is okay, but just depth. Of course, that's all he was, Marcus. That re-signing, and you can always tell by the money. He got signed, what was it, 3 years, $12 million? Or 4 years, $12 million, whatever it was. $12 million should tell you he's not meant to be the main guy. That's the position I'm looking for, that D tackle. That D tackle all of a sudden to me becomes valuable. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to get y'all comments first, which are more important. Did I see Lisa give a date? Yeah, Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. How you doing, ma'am? Again, original dates were April 23rd to the 25th. And if I'm not mistaken, Lisa, I think they say they're still going to do it, but they didn't say virtually, but they say it's going to be in several locations, which tells me it's probably going to be virtual. Which will be kind of cool. I think it's going to be a cool day. I'm still planning on coming on that day, one way or the other, whatever status we're in. I do plan on being on that night. So hopefully you guys will be along with us to ride. Akita says, no way, we need players to hit the field. No time for backups. I can understand that. Yeah, this is the first 3 picks you're making are picks that will be playing on the field as a starter or a rotational guy. The future, we do need to look out for the future at quarterback, but it's not this year, y'all. We're going to win it. The Falcons showed me in the last 3 days that they are trying to win. They looked at what Tampa's doing. They look at the moves that the Saints are doing, and they ain't scared. They are making moves right now to say we are going to be competitive in the NFC South. They could play the game of let's fall back. There's the great Greek wonder down there in Clemson, and let's just fall and not win games and try to get them. When they made that move for Dante Fowler the first day, I said, oh, okay, that's a good call. And then when they made the move the next day to get Todd Gurley, that showed me that these Falcons are trying to win this thing, man. And I know it's save job time, but they're actually trying to win this thing. So I don't know. We'll see. Let me get back up here, y'all. Bradley, what's up, Stephen? Corey, got to get Fields or Lawrence next year to replace Matty. The only way you're going to get Fields or Lawrence is if you are 3-13, and I don't think you want to do that. Weird thought. If they are doing this, weird thoughts. What if they doing this to trade for a draft pick? I wouldn't be surprised. What's going on? What's going on, Bradley? I see you saying what's up. How you doing, brother? Lisa says, yeah, they said no public fan events for the draft. However, I think the draft will go on as planned for those dates. Michael says, if D tackle is your choice, what about Sue? He's is available. What will we offer him? Do we think he's washed up? I don't think he's washed up, but I think he's not going to be worth the money to me. Uh, listen, we spent our money on Fowler and Gurley, our big money. I think that's what we're looking at as far as your big money out there. Now, if we did bring in Sue for 1 year, that means somebody who's starting or somebody who's making big money is getting ready to go. All right, we gotta say, gotta get that defense right. Absolutely, you gotta get defense right. Defense has got to improve this year, without a doubt. Antonio, how you doing, sir? I think our first pick would be an edge rusher, second round, cornerback, linebacker, or running back. Not sure about that running back now. Not saying, again, Gurley on a 1 year deal. He's definitely not penciled in for the future, but I would not do that. Derek says you need to sound in your echo. You know what? I might have my microphone too far away. Let's see if I can do this right quick. And hopefully that'll help. If not, I apologize, and we'll try to get it together. Michael, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Tom Brady, Antonio Brown, what y'all gonna do with the Bucs? Ain't no guarantee that AB going to the Bucs, and even if he does go to the Bucs, let me tell you this: Mike Evans is still on that team. Goodwin is still on that team. He's not going. Listen, Antonio Brown has basically railroaded himself out of the NFL. Right now, correct, Tampa Bay is probably in line because of whatever connection him and Brady have to have access to getting him first. There's no guarantee that AB is going to be playing. AB has to go through a little bit of investigation stuff when he comes back. That stuff doesn't go away. He doesn't automatically sign and just play on day one. I think that's too much drama. I'm not sure if Tampa Bay wants that distraction or not. They're fine at wide receiver. They're fine to me. Meechup, what's going on? They said a studio draft. I'm guessing the Sports Center NFL live type of field tour. But guess what? We're gonna have one too. We'll go right up against them. So we'll have our own live draft. Why are we still talking about AB? You talk about AB because he's a name. He's a name, and folks, I don't know. No different than folks bring up the former Falcon quarterback because he's a name, and everybody likes to bring it up. John, how you doing, sir? How you doing, brother? Joe Mitz, we're going cornerback, linebacker, running back. Linebacker, y'all, the one thing I haven't had a chance to look at, give me a couple of linebackers because I haven't done my homework with the linebackers because I was pretty sure we were going to end up going and still might go defensive end. I don't think you can have enough people to rush the quarterback. And my philosophy has always been, if you have folks that can rush the quarterback, that makes your back end, that makes your secondary that much better. Because if you're putting the quarterback under duress, that's going to make your secondary puts your secondary in a better position for interceptions, back downs, and all of that. Every quarterback in the league can't roll out. Every quarterback is not Mahomes. Every quarterback is not Deshaun Watson. Every quarterback is not Russell Wilson. And definitely down here, now in the NFC South, Breeze and Brady, those are not out-of-the-pocket quarterbacks. If we put pressure on those two cats this year, the division is ours. I'm telling you. That's why I think that's a good idea. What's going on, Will? How you doing, brother? Everything going all right? Bradley, I'm good. What do you think on getting Gurley? I think Gurley is a very good investment for the 1 year that we're getting him. If it turns out to be a special year, we can revisit that later. But if it doesn't, we can say bye-bye and say we tried. Right now, Gurley is a wild card of all wild cards. If y'all think about it, if this turns out to be the move of all moves, we'll look like the best front office in the NFL. And if it backs up on us, we only invested 1 year. We tried. Can't say we didn't try. And we move on. I mean, that's the way I feel about it. Frank, I think we're trading for a D tackle or linebacker. Right now, it wouldn't surprise me. My thought, y'all, is to go for the D tackle. If you get that other guy, and I'm listening to you when y'all talking about Ndamukong Suh, but Ndamukong Suh is going to ask for double-digit billions. He's going to ask for 10 or 11. And he's actually in a good position. He's been kind of successful with that model of saying, you know what, selling my services each year, $10 million, y'all come on in and give it to me. Now, maybe he might see a situation that he likes, and he'll say, okay, well, Falcons look like they're on the uptick. I see Gurley. I see my former teammate over there, Gurley. I see Fowler over there. Let me run over there and see what I can do. And then if he asks for $7 million or $8 million, maybe. But I think you get a young cat. Got my eye on that Derek Brown guy. But I know he's going to be gone. I'm not saying I know he's going to be gone. Let's get down here. Damian says, we're making moves telling me that we're serious about winning this season. Think we're probably going all in on a D tackle in the draft unless there's a player there that we just can't pass on. And I did not look at your comment before I said that, but it sounds like you're mirroring the same thing that I'm talking about. I think to have another D tackle in there cause havoc. Listen, y'all, and we don't want to talk about it now because we want to get 2016 as far away as we can. When that defense started really wrecking havoc in that second half of 2016, you had Grady and you had Hagelman that were causing drama in that middle. Vic Beasley was doing his thing as well, but you had a push up the middle that those guys couldn't mess with the second half of the season. And I think if you get somebody with some similar talent in there, I think that would be the move to make. Frank says Brown or Simmons, who I think we are trading for. Okay. That might not be a bad idea. I think Brown, would fit real nicely. I'm not sure what the cost would be. If Brown happens to drop past 8, do y'all think he would be worth giving up maybe a second round next year, along with your first round pick? Possibly. If he falls past 8 or 9. I can't give up my number 1 next year. Just in case this stuff doesn't work out, I'm going to need a backup. I got to have my number 1 pick. Got to. Corey says, Gurley should get close to 20 touches a game. Absolutely. I think so. Brother Rusty, what's going on, man? I saw you with that big thing of toilet paper on your post the other day. I meant to put my beard in on it. I said this before on Tidy's Live, and I'll repeat it to you. I said that DQ and TD aren't worried about finding Matt's replacement because they won't be here to draft Matt's successor. DQ will definitely be gone, and TD is 50-50. Let me tell you something. If we end up 8-8 and worse, you don't have to worry about that. That's going to take care of itself. Keelan, what's going on, man? Said, got to have the number 1. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You can't give up your number 1 picks. But I'm going to bring the scenario to y'all in a second. I'm going to get back. What's up, JP? How you doing, sir? Said Treadwell and Ridley are going to have a field day next year because of Gurley and Julio. Now, JP, maybe you have more insight on this Treadwell, but I'm looking at I know he didn't get a chance to play as much behind Diggs and Thielen, but do you think he's going to be able to sneak? One, he's going to have to sneak past Gage. And I'm not trying to make Gage the next all-pro receiver, but Gage was pretty reliable. I didn't see that cat drop a lot of passes. The long-distance threat that you have in Zacchaeus, and Blake came in for a couple of good moments as well. So maybe people saw some highlights from him that I didn't see, but I know coming out of college he was a beast. But when he got drafted, you get drafted that high, man, I expect you to give me some results, man. I just hope Ryan doesn't mess us up. If we keep Ryan upright, Ryan is going to be fine. The Gurley signing should work wonders. The threat of Todd Gurley, even limping, is more than what Devonta Freeman has ever been as far as a threat in the backfield. If we get an 80 to 90% Gurley, I'm telling you, Matt Ryan is going to have a field day because the play action will be on. Folks will have to be honest with their coverage. Gurley can come out of this backfield. I'm trying to tell y'all, that's what made Goff who he was when they made their run to the Super Bowl before Gurley got hurt near the end of the year. If you notice, when Gurley got hurt, their offense kind of sputtered a little bit near the end. But if Gurley he didn't have to go to the playoffs this year, got a chance to get his knee a whole year, and now that we got this little shutdown thing, he has some time to get his knee up to snuff. I'm trying to tell you, it's going to work wonders for Matt. It is. What's going on, Perry? How you doing, sir? Terrell says, all these former first-round picks we have on offense, we got to address the defense with the first 3 picks. We have, unless it's someone who fell and is too good to pass up. Terrell, that is absolutely the way to go to me. You should be on defense the first 3 picks. Twan, I think as of now, Simmons, Murray, and maybe Queen are the picks at linebacker if they're 18. Queen, you played a great game in the championship. Okoda, I know you're talking the guy from Ohio State is the best cornerback because I think we do need a cornerback with True getting released, but we will trade up just to wait and see. This is basically it. Yeah, the cornerback position is definitely good. I don't think you're going to be able to get him. They're saying he's going to go at least top 5, maybe top 6 or 7. I don't think you go that deep for a cornerback. I think you go that deep for defensive tackle, though. And we do need a quarterback. No, the guy Henderson is somebody that they're saying might have a chance to slip down. So I think that might be somebody that you look at. But I would make a move up for DT before I go for cornerback. Jermaine says, I think DT a cornerback with the first pick, and with the second pick, you get what you didn't with the first. I see what you're saying. Interchange either way. Corey, move up to get Brown if the price is right. Markeith, I say wait for Kinlaw. Kinlaw should be available, but you know what? I've seen a lot of mocks that have Kinlaw going like number 11, number 12 too. So let's not fall asleep on that. Anthony Houston, what's going on, Ant? How you doing, Sam? I'm scouting y'all. Hey, we're scouting y'all too. Y'all don't know Ant, good buddy of mine, big Saints fan. But we let him in here just because we're nice. New Orleans made some really good moves. That Emmanuel Sanders move, that is, listen, now Michael Thomas has somebody who can roll with him. That's going to be very interesting to see. I was surprised you guys spent the money on Malcolm Jenkins, who is still serviceable, but I'm not sure if I would have spent that much money on him at 32. He's good. I don't know if he's elite safety, but I know he's still serviceable safety. I would have brought that down about at least $8 or $9 million, but I don't know. Perry, I believe if we do trade up, it'll be for Brown. I wish it was for Young. Young will cost way too much, but I hear your mind working on that, Perry. And that would be a great move if we were able to do that. Maybe somebody can put some bad stories about Young and he could drop down. But other than that, I don't see them doing that. Lisa said, I hope Cutter doesn't mess us up. I think his effective call plan is essential to maximize our weapons. And Lisa, with Ridley coming back healthy and Gurley as your lead back now, our biggest concern is our biggest concern last year, keeping Matt upright. If the offensive line can get their act together, and grow. We did better the second half of the year, but that doesn't mean anything towards 2020. If the offensive line can play considerably better than they did in 2019, we're going to be trending in the right direction. Then Cutter can actually open up his playbook. He was hamstrung last year. I'm not making total excuses for him. There was some scratch your head moves that Cutter made last year, but you can't pull out the entire playbook if your run game is averaging 2 yards a run. So that comes to your talent that you have running the ball, and most importantly, it comes to your offensive line. The offensive line has got to improve. One more year with the 2 young rookies, and hopefully this move with Justin McCray from Cleveland at the guard, maybe that'll make the difference. Hopefully some more inspired play from Jake Matthews as well. That will help. But all valid points, though, Lisa. JP, consistency in production is honestly what I care about from the Falcons this year. Yes, these big splash pickups are nice, but at the end, the results need to be the same as the Chiefs last year. Dude, I don't think any Falcon fan will disagree with that at all. Dwayne, how you doing? What's the deal with the O-lineman McCrary we picked up from the Browns? I only got his name and his stats. I don't know what, whether he was pushed out, whether he was a Wes Schreiber, Shyster, or Shyster, I should call him, Wes Schreiber, who we let go to the Redskins. I'm not sure, but I know he's 6'3" and 317. So let's see how that works out. Lisa said, you mentioned getting Gurley to at least get 20 snaps per game. Do you think they'll incorporate some kind of load management for him until we know what the knee situation is? Without a doubt. You did invest money in him to come in this year, Lisa, but they're aware of this, the arthritis in the knee. And I'm telling you, they will do everything possible. They're going to get their mileage out of him, but they're going to also watch his carries. That's why I say you don't get rid of Ito. You don't get rid of Brian Hill yet. The book is still out on Ollison. I still think Ollison, you give him some reps to see what he can do instead of getting out of here. But yeah, that's what you do on that. Perry says, I believe we do. Okay, I got that. Perry, what is the Neal situation? Haven't heard anything about the Neal situation yet. I would imagine if they were going to make that move, they have to do it before June 1st, but haven't heard anything. I know they gave an update on him. Lisa, weren't they talking about Neal was coming along well and wanted, not the past one where we were talking about the financial stuff, but I think it was maybe the one before when they were saying Neal was coming along well in rehab and all of that. But I haven't heard anything about whether we're going to hold on to him or not. As of this moment, he is still on the roster. JP, I don't mind if we get Brown. His mind is on being Tupac. Oh, okay. All right. Lisa, he's an Ames fan. You talk about Ant's a good guy. Ant's a good dude. Sean, what's going on, brother? How you feeling, man? I've been gone for a while, but I'm back. Miss you, big dog. Glad to see you still here. I'm 40 good, 50 bad on the deal. I would have gone after Gordon or Drake, but let me know what you think. Gordon would have been a guy. I think Gordon, one, would have wanted more years, and two, would have cost more money, because you were basically, from a talent standpoint, you would think from a trending up for the future, you would have got Gordon, but I think Gordon was going to ask for, what did he end up getting? 4 years from the Broncos? Whatever he did, the multi-year, probably big guaranteed money. And I think the Falcons are saying, look, we need a running back, but right now we just need a stopgap for the moment to see what's going on. I wouldn't have disagreed if we got Melvin Gordon, but I just don't think that's where the money needs to be spent. They spent the money exactly where they need to spend this year. Defensive end, get a little love to the running back position, and let's see what we got left for the draft picks. Joe Bent says Neal ain't going nowhere. He's good. I hope he is, Joe. Listen, if Neal is good, it's a bonus. If Neal comes back and he gives us 2017, 18 type years, we're going to be fine. 2016, 17, I should say. Years, he's going to be fine. You would be less than truthful if you say you got to worry about his injuries. You do. That's not saying we don't. Look, the young man battled back from the injury last year. It shades of Willie Moe. I've repeated it several times. Willie Moe was one of the, for a 2-year period, Willie Moe played some really good safety. But Willie Moe couldn't stay healthy. And I'm talking about Willie Moore, in case people don't know. But Willie couldn't stay healthy. And that's the right now what you're thinking about with Neal. It's not a matter of whether we like him or whether what he brings to the team. It matters whether he is going to be healthy enough to stay on. JP, Gurley is only 25 years old. Yeah, but you can say until last year. Now, Gordon played himself. And I know why you say 25. I know he's probably younger than Gordon. Gordon kind of played himself because remember he held out, didn't come in until late, and then put up pedestrian numbers. And I think that's why teams were kind of slow to sign him. Even though Gurley is 25, you can't help but to think about when you hear arthritis in the knee at 25 on your running back, your bell cow running back now, not your third down Darren Sproles type running back, but your main load running back. He has arthritis in his knee. You gotta kind of wait it. But I think for the Falcons, for doing it 1 year, I think it's a legitimate gamble, and it's really not even a big loss. If he turns out next year and only gives us 300 yards and whatever, yeah, you get back and say, man, we could have done something else. But at least you only have to worry about that for 1 year. Twan, I wish we could get a good vet CB because our guys are young and the great wide receivers we have in the division and the good quarterbacks we'll face this year. So the CB group is definitely concerning me. Twan, that was one of the things. I think even if we get a cornerback in the draft, I still think we're going to get a veteran cornerback in the league. I saw Jonathan Joseph got released, and he's way past what he was at the beginning of his Houston Texan days. But he is somebody that may be able to come in here and kind of help mentor these young guys at the cornerback position. Because, I mean, all of a sudden we got very young, very quick in our secondary. So I don't disagree with you with bringing in a veteran at the right price. Prince says defense is the key. The team has to be balanced. That's the key to our success, without a doubt. Rusty, let me ask you this, Steve. If we were up at 16 and none of the D-line that we want are there and the top 2 cornerbacks are off the board, would you be mad if we got a stud offensive line to play left guard? I agree that we should go defense. It would be defensive line, cornerback, or linebacker, but anything is possible with the front office. If we didn't have the quality D-line and cornerback at that time, and Andrew Thomas is off the board, I would almost think about trading back. Because you're still at a need, you're still going to have some needs on this team. There are players, we all focus on the star young men coming out in the first round. There are going to be some guys in this draft. There are going to be some guys that we're going to pick up in the second round, third round, not just our team in the NFL, that are still quality players that you can pick out. But if you want me to answer your question, if the guys that we were looking at and the guys that were higher rated are not there by 16, I would almost consider trading back before I would make any move at offensive line. Because I think once you pass Thomas and the other guy who they have on the list right now is talking about drafting, the offensive lineman stock is not as good this year. It actually wasn't that good last year when we got Lindstrom. Remember, Lindstrom was kind of a stretch when we pulled him. Turns out he ended up being pretty good. Book steals all on McGarry, but I'm willing. See, the difference between 2020 thought and back in the 1980s and 90s and 70s, when you drafted somebody in the first round, they didn't automatically start. Sometimes they had to grow and develop. I think McGarry is going to be one of those guys that I think is going to end up being somebody that we look at and say, that ended up being a good pick. Quarterback, wide receivers. Everyone now, when they draft you first, they think you're supposed to step on the field. And that's okay to feel that way. But I like the old school way. When you get drafted, develop. Sit down on the sideline for a little bit. Aaron Rodgers. Sit down for a little bit, Russell Wilson. Or not even for a little bit, because I know they got the other guy. They got Matt Flynn first, and you thought Matt Flynn was going to start. Russell Wilson played a little bit behind him in preseason, saw he had some other stuff, and he ended up taking over. But it's no shame to me in sitting the guy down sometimes. Just because he gets drafted first doesn't necessarily mean he has to jump right into the starting lineup. But I know how the money goes. You're expected to start. That's today's NFL. A lot different from when I didn't have gray hair. Charles, with the new defensive coach, I believe our D will be solid. Fingers crossed this offensive line is right. If so, oh my, absolutely. I think the Raheem move is I am very impressed with what he did with the defense, and going into a summer camp, which I hope and pray starts on time, and not notwithstanding everything else going on in the world. Hopefully, if he's able to have a whole training camp preseason with these guys to run the defense like he wants to, I think the sky's the limit on what you can get from these young guys. I think we're going to be in good shape. Lisa, yeah, that's what I said. That's what they said on the call. No updates since then. Yeah, I thought I did. Thank you, Lisa. JP, are you interested in seeing how the new uniforms look? I am. I think right now, you know, with the things going on right now, I'm kind of with the free agency. I'm glad they went on and did this, but I think you want to be a little sensitive about stuff like that. I know people want to make more moves, not moves, but make things that keep their eyes on them. But I think the uniform decision, I think they should bring that out soon as this stuff is kind of over with. Who knows? Maybe they might bring it out draft night. I don't know. But I would like to see what they look like. Sean, okay. I'm definitely checking for that knee. Yes, he played himself. Big dog. I was saying the same thing. Absolutely. Terrell, apparently Gage said the disrespect has been noted in reference to the signing of wide receiver today. Yeah, absolutely. I think so too. But competition. You don't need to go into training camp thinking it's all yours. Now, if they only spent a little bit of money on this cat and it's not guaranteed money, let them come into camp and try to work out. Who knows? Batavius. Morris will have the defense right. I was kind of hoping to bring True and Beasley. Keep True and Beasley. I think Morris would have gotten them right. I think he got them right to a certain extent, but I think from a money standpoint, you couldn't bring Beasley back. Beasley was going to ask for what he got from the Titans, out $9 million a year. You couldn't bring him back. And True was a wild card. I kind of thought they would keep True because they didn't have experience in the backfield, but I was truly surprised that they didn't bring him back. Sean, do you think letting True go was a good move? I did not see that, but I'm just seeing it now. I'm saying yes, but I also say get rid of Neal. Even though Neal is my guy, I wanted him since day one, but he can't stay healthy. And that's a big difference to me as far as staying healthy and being productive, True was productive during the first part of his career. There is no doubt from the time he signed that big money contract, his production has not been up to snuff. And I think last year you could have made a better case to cut him last year. But I think if I remember tidying us going over that, I think the cap hit would have been a lot more back then. So we'll see. Oh, Dolph, what's going on, my friend? How's it going? Say, just signing in. I don't know if you have addressed this already. I have two questions. First question, is CeeDee Lamb is there at 16? Would you draft him or pass on him? Ooh, I don't think he's going to be there, but I would absolutely draft him if he's there, or stick to our draft plan. Second question, should the Falcons make a huge splash in the draft to do whatever it is, do whatever it takes to move up to draft Derrick Brown? Man, you got two loaded questions there. So the first question is, it would be interesting to get him, Lamb, if he was there. But that being said, your second part makes more sense. Derrick Brown, you're not going to have to spend as much as you have to go up to get Chase Young. Judging by the last couple of mocks I've seen, and now all this love, no pun intended, that the quarterback Love has been getting and moving up in drafts, that's been moving Derrick Brown down. If there's a possibility that we can get Derrick Brown at a number 8 or number 9, you roll the dice and go see it. I need to look and see who's in those 7, 8, 9, and 10 positions. Maybe 7 might be a little rich, but if you could look at something like 8 or 9 and you have a partner that might want to give up a first round, that you can give up we can give up our first round, third round, first round. I know they'll probably ask for a second round, first and second round, and maybe a second round next year. That would be something to think about. I would absolutely look at that. What's up, Herb? How you doing, brother? What are we doing about some pass rushing? Well, we signed Dante Fowler. That was the first move. I don't think it's over. I think you're going to end up either still looking to get a pass rusher or looking to get a defensive tackle, which essentially will stop run and pat and do some pass rushing as well. Darius, what position do you think we should pick for our 16th pick? Now, I started the whole conversation probably about however long ago when we started this with the positions that I thought we needed, which are D-end, D-tackle, cornerback, and guard. If you had to ask me right now, I believe you go for the D-tackle. The D-tackle, if this defensive line turns out to be what it is, and Raheem said that he was going to put a premium on rushing the quarterback, which I would believe him, judging by some of the action I saw near the end of the year, more than I believe Dan Quinn and what he was trying to accomplish early in the year. If you can put pressure on these quarterbacks, that will make your secondary much better. So that's why I put more focus on getting a D tackle. And also, there are very few cornerbacks that come right in. And that's one of the positions in the NFL, along with wide receiver, maybe an offensive lineman, that you have to kind of grow once you get drafted. You usually don't jump in. Everyone's not Randy Moss, where they just jump in and all of a sudden become a hero. I know somebody's going to probably say Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas is nice. Michael Thomas came with Drew Brees, who throws the ball 650 times a year. So he was destined to get 80 of them his rookie year because he was with a quarterback that volume throws. Dan says, sorry, I'm late. No, you good, Darius. You always welcome, my friend. Frank says D tackle. Absolutely. That's what you look for. You look for the defensive tackle position. Shin, my brother, how you doing? Ricky, what's going on, man? How y'all doing? That's two of my favorites right there. Shin, can we go get Griffin, who was released from the Vikings? You know, and he had a nice bounce back year because, you know, he had the mental things going on. Depends on what his price is, Shin. If his price is okay, that's fine. Look, these guys who didn't make it through the first part, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to make them rich. If they didn't make any money this first 7 days, I would probably wait till after the draft and see what their price is then. Griffin, to me right now on the open market, if you talk about a team that needs a DN like us, he's going to probably end up getting about $8-9 million. I'm not sure if you're going to pay that. Not for me. Shin, McGarry is Peter Cons. Come on, man. Give him another year. You know what, though? McGarry showed me more than Peter Cons did in his couple of years he was here. I wouldn't quite go that far. And it's 1 year. I can't label bust. I can't label bust after 1 year for him. And he played better when Lindstrom came. When Lindstrom came to the team, he played better. And that's what they're supposed to do. The offensive line is supposed to play in conjunction. Give him 1 more year, Shin. Give him 1 more. JP, rollover from last year's defense, played the last 8 games, limited mistakes from Matt Ryan, good offensive line play, double up on the defensive turnovers, get Gurley and Julio going is the key to success. And that's the thing, JP. But we said that last year. I'm on the same jungle juice you drinking with your comment. But I said the same thing last year. Remember, we made a little run at the end of 2018, and we were like, well, 2019 is going to be the year. After last year, I'm going to stop doing that. I have to judge each year completely like it is. Now, the difference is going in from 2018 to 2019, Dan Quinn fired everybody. So had no cohesiveness. This year, with Raheem still being in place and Ulbrich still being in place, you have the opportunity to keep the same tactics, the same things you were doing that started that run into last year when you won 6 out of the last 8 games and beat San Francisco at their place, beat New Orleans at their place, played more competitively in the second half. A lot of people were mad at that because it hurt their draft position, but I think that showed that you're ready to compete next year. Oh, man, awesome. Thank you, Perry. I appreciate that. So the teams that you would be playing deal with at number 7 would be Carolina. Carolina would take Derrick Brown. That's probably who most of the teams think is going to take them. Carolina, Arizona, Jacksonville, and Cleveland. Now, the only problem with the Derrick Brown situation, Carolina, Arizona, and Jacksonville will all probably try to get him. That's about the only problem we have right now. Darius, yeah, I agree. The more pressure we can put on the quarterback, the best chance for our DBs to make plays. Perry, that's the draft order team. Thank you so much, sir. Frank, I want to see Krominsky, the 4th rounder from last year, play a little more. I think he can get you 4 to 6 sacks a year. I believe he's going to get his opportunities. Trust me. As a 4th round pick, again, you're not losing much. I think, remember, too, he came from a small school. This is his big chance. He played a couple of good plays, but I also saw him get swallowed a couple of times last year, especially near the end. But I have high hopes for him. Brother Darius, what's going on, man? So why did we let the leading tackler Campbell go? Linebackers were seemingly most solid defensive group because he wanted money. And he ended up making a little bit of money, too. He wanted more money, and he didn't get a chance to get a 5th-year option. He was a 4th round pick as well, right? Was he 4th or 5th? 4th round pick as well. This was his chance to get his big money. And I think after you saw Debo get his big money last year, I think Campbell knew the writing was on the wall. I agree with you, Jarius. If we had the money to keep Campbell, I would have kept him. listened to a couple of folks in a couple of Falcon groups and seen the kind of trash him, which I don't understand. It's not like he had a horrible year, led the team in tackles, but I know he needed to play the tight end a little bit, be a fourth round. Thank you, Frank. I know he needed to cover a little bit better, so maybe we need to find that cover linebacker for those tight ends coming out. So maybe that's what it is. Jalen, what's going on, sir? Ricky, I agree, Steve, but bro, Matt, while getting killed at the O-line, McGarry was not ready, but then again, Oliver wasn't either. So you're making my point. The first year, Oliver looked like a deer in headlights. Unfortunately, his teammates were getting hurt, so he wasn't able to learn from anybody last year. 2018. But Oliver showed that you can grow from your first year to your second year. McGarry, I know that since he was picked in the first round, the expectations are higher, especially since they traded up to get him in the first round. The expectations are higher. Give the man another year. I'm telling y'all, I don't think this is going to be – I think he's going to improve his play. He improved his play when Lindstrom came. When he had somebody that was right next to him that could actually play the guard position, he played much better last year. Go back and look. Go look at the San Francisco game. Go look at it near the end of the year with the Tampa Bay game. Yeah, he had some whiffs on a few folks too, but he played much better in the second half. Sheehan, hopefully the guard that was injured for the season will be good. I hope so too. Jermaine, you never start someone that's not ready, because if you rush it, you'll hurt their confidence. And once that's gone, pick and player wasted. And yeah, the problem we had, Jermaine, last year, though, you had to bring folks in because Schrader was gone. It was going to be too much money to get a real tackle last year. But you're actually echoing the thoughts I had about sitting guys down and letting them learn. Problem is, we didn't have anybody that was in place that a McGarry can learn from. So, and I don't know if that's who you're talking about, but any draft pick, anybody from quarterback to long snapper, it's always good to come into a situation where somebody's in front of you so you can learn how the NFL guys are playing. Anybody who gets picked, I don't care where they came from, whether they played for Alabama, Georgia, USC, whatever. When they come into the NFL, it's a whole different world. You're playing against guys on the other side that went to small schools in South Dakota and Indiana, no disrespect to those states, but when you get to the NFL, everybody there from a college standpoint was elite coming out of college. So you need a year or two to grow. The difference in that, Jermaine, last year, we didn't have anybody for McGarry and Lindstrom to learn from. That's our biggest problem. Brother Wayne, how you doing, sir? Falcons need defense, period, not offensive players. And for those hating on Matt Ryan, he's restructured 2 times this offseason. Listen, I've stopped arguing with folks about Matt Ryan, folks. Matt Ryan is our quarterback. If y'all think by talking about him that bad that it's going to change my mind, it's not. Y'all think by talking about him that bad, people who are fans of him are going to stop rooting for him. They're not. Matt Ryan is our quarterback. Get that right. Perry, do you think this feel that TD is going to trade up with all these moves we're making and the so-called we don't have any money to pay players, that you go all out for your guy, rather it Young or Brown? Yes and no, but the problem is, in order to get Chase Young, you see, you got me mixing names up. In order to get Chase Young, you're going to have to give up the following. You're going to have to give up this year's number 1, probably next year's number 1, and probably your second round pick this year. I think that's too rich. And I hear you churning and thinking about it, but if the project doesn't work, you don't want to come into next year and not have a first round pick. Going back to Shin, who is definitely not going to be invited to any Peter Kant's family functions. Peter Kant's was picked this. He was the number 2 pick because we gave away those picks. I believe that was the year of Julio. I think that was the year that we gave away him. So he was the number 2 pick that year. You needed somebody in that first. When you gave away those picks to get Julio, that kind of hurt you. So you don't want to give away too many of your assets, especially when you're talking about next year. Now, as far as Derek Brown, now I think Derek Brown can be had with maybe a second round this year and second or third round next year. Chase Young is one of those elite players. I think that it's just going to cost too much of the draft for us to give up, in my opinion. Twan, no, I disagree. McGarry is not Cons by far. McGarry actually displayed leadership, toughness, and heart. We got a good pick right there. And with no pun intended about his heart. Think about what he had to go through. People forget about that when he got on the field. That guy fought through almost a life-threatening thing with his heart last year. I think we all forgot about that once he started playing. And after that, he played every game. So I give him a lot of credit. I liked him coming out of Washington. I still have hopes for him. I don't want you guys to just 1 year. Nah. Now, if it's after 2 years, then let's start talking. 1 year, let's not throw it totally away. Shin, we didn't need another year. Waste of a roster spot. Yeah, I hear you, brother. I hear you. Rick says Beasley keep. Nah, bro, he was a liability. True was as well. I agree. Neil is a liability. Yeah, Neil is a liability because he's not on the field. I get it, y'all. I like the young man, but I would understand if the Falcons said, let's move on. I really would. Perry says, I'm saying this because are we going to have any money to pay the rest of our rookie class? Yeah, I think we are. Look, you always have to figure that out. The 2 designations of Matt Ryan and Grady don't actually come into effect until June 1st anyway. So that's going to probably free up some money back then. What you're seeing on the salary cap now doesn't include those adjustments. So I'm more than sure that's probably slotted for those rookies. Darius, I'm at the point where I just sit back and see what AB, TD, and DQ decide to do, and whatever they hopefully it will benefit our team, and I can care less about what these so-called Falcon fans say, period. Yeah, sometimes, y'all, we can't help ourselves. When you go to the post and you see the normal trolls, I'm not going to mention names, but y'all know who they are. The same trolls, Matt Ryan is garbage. Look at Matt Ryan, or they have a meme with Matt Ryan on the ground or something like that. And I know the natural response is to, how dare you talk about Matt, whatever, But I look at it like this. All the trolling they can do, Matt Ryan is still our quarterback. That hasn't changed. So am I going to put up a fight with somebody that I'm probably never going to see in my life? Or am I going to just keep strolling on to something bigger and better? Most of the time, I choose bigger and better, unless it's just somebody I just want to get into it with. But yeah, we'll figure that out. Jalen says, I like the Treadwell signing. It's a low risk, high reward signing. He hasn't been the same since that knee injury he had against LSU. Well, that's the only thing that kind of bothers me, because I say to myself, I said, wow, I said, that was just a very interesting move that you made, knowing that knowing that he still might be hurt. But I don't know. Maybe they feel like they can help him out. I don't know. Jalen, True's been trashed since he stole that money. No doubt. Don't be surprised if we go linebacker and pick up Kenneth Murray. Yeah, again, that's the one thing. When I come on next time, we're going to talk about linebackers. I really need some help with these linebackers. Aside of Queen from LSU, who I saw in the national championship game, I really didn't see a lot of bust-out linebacker play this year in college. I was more paying attention to the offensive side of the ball and a couple of defensive linemen, but I really didn't pay as much attention to linebacker this year. Darius, I understand people have opinions, and I respect that, but with all that trolling and negativity towards our team, it's pathetic. Yeah, I look at it like that too, but some people don't have anything else to do, but they'll just start a line and just want to see folks react. I don't know. We all know who the real fan. I already know when you guys get on most of the time who are truly the guys and gals out there. Don't leave the gals out there because y'all be more fired than the guys sometimes. But you already know who the real people are. And for the most part, y'all know who the folks are that just like to push buttons. The push button people, I don't push button back with them. They'll be fine. Ricky says, way more than Peter Conch. Yeah, I know. Y'all, yeah, Chin just started stuff. That's my boy. That's my boy, though. Chin, you're all right with me. Ricky said, right, all the rush yards we got in the second half of last year came from the right side when Lindstrom and McGarry were working together. Absolutely. Jalen, Raheem Morris will be the next Falcons head coach if Quinn messes up. Listen, don't be shocked. Maybe that's why they put him in that position, because they know it's a possibility that he could be the next guy. Ricky, also Steve, 2 questions. First, how do you feel about Gurley? I feel positive. I think Gurley is a good move. I think Gurley will be the threat that Freeman never was. Not saying we didn't get anything out of Freeman the Super Bowl year and the year before. Freeman gave us a good year or two. Thank you, Free. But Gurley is somebody that everybody has to pay attention to. He's a threat out of the backfield to catch a ball. He's a better blocker, and he's well respected in this league. Defenses will pay more attention to him, which means that will open up the play action and other plays for not only Matt Ryan, but for Dirk Cutter to open up this stagnant offense and be able to do more things. And 2, who do you think we should pick in the draft? I knew Fowler was coming earlier this year. I talked about it, Ricky. I would love to see us throw a Hail Mary and try to get Derek Brown. But if we can't get Derek Brown, the brother Kinlaw out of South Carolina is somebody that I have my hands on. The Empaneza guy from Iowa, I know everyone has him slotted in. I think you go D-tackle. I think you go D-tackle with that pick. Help Grady out. Help Fowler out. Help Tack out, who this is put up or shut up year for him. So I think that's the way you go. Ricky, I also believe McGarry is going to have a real good year. I think we upgraded on tight end with Hurst. Hurst was the guy I didn't mention as well, too, with the trade. Hayden Hurst, I'm telling y'all, I think that cat's going to be the truth. Time will tell whether he's a Hooper clone or not. I know he has more speed than Hooper, but I think he's going to be somebody at the end of the day that we're going to look back and say that was a pretty good pickup. Even though we gave up that second-round pick this year, I wish we could have kept that. Jalen, Campbell is trash in coverage. I believe that, Jalen. I absolutely, yeah. That's probably the liability that cost him the most, and the fact that we would have had to pay him $8 million. Ricky, I agree. If it was in the budget, we would have kept Campbell. Rusty, I think they are thinking about trading up into the first or second round. DQ, TD's asses on the line, and they know it. I think they are thinking 3 starters on the D and the first 3 picks, whether that be 2 firsts 1 second, 1 first, 2 seconds. Remember this statement. D-line, quarterback, linebacker. And I know you told me that before, Russ. Rusty, you're going to be here with me that night. Hey, I ride with you, brother. I'm looking at you right there. You probably got me more thinking in the D-line category than anything. And I don't know who you value more, Brown or Kinlaw. I think you value Brown more, but I think if Kinlaw was there, I think you would pick him too, Rusty, no doubt. Philip, if this new defense gel, we will win the Super Bowl, rise up. I hopeful thinking, I wish we could say that. Sean Parker, 4,000 plus consecutive. I don't think they heard me. I don't think they heard me. 4,000 yards. I'm sorry, I missed your thing there. I think I went way past. There you go. Nothing wrong with Matty besides decision making sometimes. Every quarterback has bad decision making. I agree with you. Ricky, and our defense is going to be real good this year. And yeah, folks need to get off Matt Ryan. How can you judge him when the first 2 seasons since the Super Bowl, O-line was at his ankles, but yet he's still in top 5 in yards and TDs. And Julio was always in the top 5 wide receivers. Julio was number 1 at 18 with all the quarterback stats we were giving up. Jermaine, I think we should try to get another second or third. Ricky, but the problem, okay, you were applying. Twan, here's a question I have for you. Do you think Cutter will install some of his plays into the offense? It's hard trying to call plays when you have using someone else's playbook. That's like asking my girlfriend to cook a sweet potato pie like my grandmother. It's not going to work. It's pretty good. Yeah, and I think TD probably had a list that he gave to Dirk in the offseason and probably to Raheem. Listen, y'all, what ingredients, playing into your sweet potato thing, what ingredients do I need in order for you to be the most successful this year? What do I need? And I think when you start talking about Gurley will probably open up that playbook a lot more for us this year. I really think he will. I think the sky's the limit, especially if he's healthy. Y'all running back that on 3rd and 1, I don't have to put anybody in the Wildcat on 3rd and 1. I have a running back that I can say, for the most part, can probably fall into a first down if healthy. Tidy said, just for combo's sake, if we restructure Julio, restructure Debo, and cut Alex Mack, that's 19.4 in cap space and probably enough to get Clowney under contract. Good move, bad move, or you have to, what do you think about it? Clowney, I have never really liked Clowney personally, Tidy. I don't know if you've ever had that discussion. Clowney is nice. But when we start talking about, he's not a bust. He's not a bust whatsoever. But he was the number 1 overall pick. And in 6 years, he's got less sacks than Vic Beasley. He is a freak of nature. He's a big dude that can move fast and can really disrupt some things. But I think that's why a lot of people, and this is why I think there's hesitation with him right now. Is he going to be worth that $20 million that he's going to ask for? Not that I think a lot of them are worth, but from his production and from the hype and the expectations of him coming out of South Carolina, do you think he has truly been one of the great DNs in the game over the last 6 years? I don't think he has. So to your point with those moves, I like the restructuring things. I know, and I've been watching your post on the Alex Mack stuff. Listen, Alex Mack is getting older, and Alex Mack costs a lot of money right now. But right now, center is going to be hard to find. And if we're talking about making a run, you better get a center that can play. And the one thing you can say about Alex Mack, no, he's probably not what he was at Cleveland or either the first couple of years of the Super Bowl or the next year. But Alex Mack has been pretty consistent. And if you cut Alex Mack, you better have a plan B. And if you can give me the plan B, I'll be on with the as far as trying to look to lose his salary. But I need a solid plan B, though, Toddy. Frank, we will not cut Mack, but I wouldn't mind redoing Julio and Debo's contract for Clowney, but I don't see it happening. Frank says restructure. Ricky says Tack is on the chopping block this year. Absolutely, Tack is. Tack has to show up. Toddy, I agree with that sentiment. Thank you, sir. Twan, well, cutting Mack is big, but I'm not sure about that. We definitely have to see who's out there in free agency. It's hard to replace Mack. And I think that's the problem. We have to bring somebody in. We're talking about the offensive line. We started this whole conversation about redoing the offensive line and trying to make sure we're at optimal level for all the weapons we have. If you're talking about cutting Mack, you got to bring somebody in here. Frank, no.